Alright guys, before we get into the video, a couple announcements. First off, I want to thank everyone who has signed up for the Patreon lately. We have more Patreon members than we've ever had before. I think we have about 55 patron members. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are the reasons I do the show. Y'all are the reason that I'm able to spend so much time, not only on Discord, but making these videos, getting them out for y'all. And now that I have this extra time and y'all have showed so much support, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go up and try to get 2 videos a day out to y'all. I know I've been pumping out 1 a day for months. I don't remember the last time I did not get a video out for y'all, but I'm going to try to step it up. I know 1 a day is already a lot, but if y'all have the time to watch them, I have the time to make them, and y'all are supporting the show and allowing me to do this, there's no reason that I should not go out and make 2 videos a day. So we're going to try it, maybe go for about a week, see how it is. If this is something y'all want, make sure to leave a comment. If y'all don't really care, y'all are good as is, let me know too. Y'all can either leave a comment on the video, shoot me a message through the Discord chat. But yeah, thanks so much. Really owe y'all all a big thank you. But now we're going to get into it. And Brandin Cooks is traded. This is something that has been rumored for a while. This has been on the back of our minds. I've made a couple Brandin Cooks videos. I've actually been snatching up Robert Woods in every single startup draft that we've been doing this offseason. If you want to get in one of those startups, make sure you shoot me a message either on Twitter or through Discord. But anyway, this has some major fantasy implications. A lot of values are going to change, and a lot of things are going to look different. But first off, let's address the obvious. Bill O'Brien, probably the worst moves this offseason. Not only trading DeAndre Hopkins for a second-round pick and David Johnson. And honestly, that David Johnson pickup in that trade is pretty much, I don't even know, it's kind of a negative. If you look at it like a NBA situation, you know how teams literally trade players to just get rid of the contracts. Or look, if y'all remember a couple years ago, whenever the Texans signed Brock Osweiler and then ended up having to trade him to Sashi and the Browns and a second-round pick to just get the contract off the roster, essentially what the Cardinals did. And now they go out and trade for Brandin Cooks, who was on a contract that I believe is larger than DeAndre Hopkins. And yeah, this just looks horrible on Bill O'Brien. Everyone on Twitter is saying it. Everyone knows it. And I don't know how much longer Bill O'Brien is going to have a job. He has way too much power in that organization and should be taken out pretty much immediately. But anyway, a second-round pick gets Brandin Cooks and a 4th rounder. And this is first off, I just want to say, I love Brandin Cooks, the NFL wide receiver. He's been one of my favorite players in the NFL for a very long time. Y'all know I've said it multiple times before, but I started playing Dynasty in 2014. Brandin Cooks' rookie class was my first class evaluating, so I'm kind of in love with all the players in that class, have a strong bias towards them, but I think I can objectively stand away from Brandin Cooks and try to give some fair evaluation, not only to how this changes the Houston Texans, but how this changes the Los Angeles Rams. So first off, I want to address that a lot of people are skyrocketing Brandin Cooks up their dynasty rankings, and I'm kind of hesitant to do this just because I've already been trying to acquire him. I recently traded the 206 for Brandin Cooks and the 302 in a Superflex league. That's obviously a smash spot now, in my opinion, and I don't think you're going to be able to get any sort of discount on Brandin Cooks now, because I'm looking in the Discord chat and I saw someone saying that they're going out trying to trade a late first or early second in a Superflex league for Brandin Cooks. I would be hesitant to do that just because we know that if we look at the wide receiver tiers for this rookie class, you're going to be able to get a great guy at the end of the first round or the beginning of the second round. So I don't think his price vaults up that high. I think if anything, now he slides into that 205, 206 range in Superflex. You can make the argument for him to be the 112, 201 in one quarterback leagues. And I don't think you're going to be able to trade that for him now, especially if a Brandin Cooks owner is finally happy. He's gone out of LA, goes to the Houston Texans, and essentially slides into the wide receiver 1 seat on this team. But I'm here to say that I don't think he is the wide receiver 1 on the Houston Texans. It hurts me to say, y'all know I love Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks has probably been one of my most owned dynasty wide receivers throughout his entire career. But at this point in his career, I can't confidently say that he is better than Will Fuller, especially with Will Fuller already having that Deshaun Watson connection. And we have to remember, I hate to bring it up, but I know we don't want to talk about it, but the virus is going to impact this NFL season. And what I'm kind of doing to prepare for that is I think all these off-season workouts are going to be cut short. Teams aren't going to have the practice hours that they're used to. So any NFL players switching teams, I'm kind of just slowly trying to avoid. I'm slowly trying to get them off my rosters. But nonetheless, I think Will Fuller, Brandin Cooks, very similar NFL wide receivers. This is obviously going to unlock the Houston Texans offense if Brandin Cooks can stay on the field. Because the thing with Brandin Cooks, and the reason why the Patriots gave up a first-round pick for him, the Rams gave up a first-round pick for him, the Texans gave up a second-round pick for him, is that Brandin Cooks can stretch the field and he can make your offense better. He is a great wide receiver at making the players around him more efficient, very similar to Will Fuller. Both of these wide receivers are deep threats, very speedy guys, and they're really just going to open up the offense. So what I know initially this is going to do for a lot of Dynasty players is they're going to lower Randall Cobb way down their Dynasty rankings. They're going to put him back down towards the players that should be on the waiver wire. And I think a sneaky move, and I was debating if I was going to say this or not because I know that we have those Dynasty startup drafts going on right now, and I don't want y'all to snipe me on Randall Cobb, but I think he is a great Dynasty buy right now because I think it's going to be a very similar situation that we see in Buffalo now with we have Stephon Diggs and John Brown stretching the field and Cole Beasley working underneath. I think we're looking at a Houston Texans team that's almost identical. Brandin Cooks and Will Fuller, if they are both healthy, I think have the potential to really unlock this Houston Texans offense. And I think that Randall Cobb is going to be the player that's going to be really, he's obviously not going to be able to outproduce the two other wide receivers on this team. But in terms of targets and receptions, he's going to be right there. He just won't be as efficient. So Randall Cobb is a great Dynasty buy due to this. If you can go out, get him for a 4th-round rookie pick, maybe pick him up on your waiver wire, especially in leagues where you can start up to 7, 8 wide receivers. You have a ton of flex spots, really deep starting lineups. Randall Cobb is going to really smash. Now with Brandin Cooks, like I said earlier, I'm probably not looking to buy just because of what I'm immediately seeing his value go to. But if he is worth a mid-second round pick and you can trade that for him, if you have the risk tolerance, I would definitely do that. The obvious risk with Brandin Cooks, because in my opinion, he's still I don't want to say he's an elite talent in the league, but he is a very good wide receiver and a very good talent in the league. But we know he has, I believe, 5 concussions so far. So one more concussion could be a season-ending injury. And that's the one bright spot if you look from a Houston Texans perspective on his contract, is that after 2020, he has $0 guaranteed. So say he goes out, it's a very sad thing to talk about, very unethical to talk about, but at the same time, if he goes out in week 4, suffers his 6th concussion of his NFL career and is out for the season, I don't think he's on the Houston Texans roster going forward. So at the same time, I don't think this limits them from going out and drafting a wide receiver in this year's draft. With Kenny Stills coming out on his last year of the contract, he actually has, I believe, $7 million in base salary this season with 0 dead money. So maybe if they see a wide receiver they really like fall to them in the 2nd round, they even cut Kenny Stills this season. That would not be too surprising if they need to make cap space. But let's move to the Los Angeles Rams. And 2 immediate things here. 1, everyone on Twitter, everyone in the Discord chat, pretty much everywhere I look is going crazy for Josh Reynolds. All these people that have been holding Josh Reynolds on their dynasty teams for years and years are ready to throw a party. I'm going to say for multiple reasons. That's horrible. Horrible process. Josh Reynolds is the ultimate dynasty sell right now for so many reasons. I'm going to get into it right now. First off, the Los Angeles Rams have 2 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks in what is supposed to be the deepest NFL rookie class at the wide receiver position of all time. So I think it's kind of silly to say that the Rams are going to go out and trade away Brandin Cooks and not look to replace him in the 2nd or 3rd round if they see the value there. Now, even if they don't decide to go out and draft a rookie wide receiver in one of those 2 rounds, what you have to understand is after Brandin Cooks suffered his concussion last season, and it really changed the team after the bye, they pretty much ran all 12 personnel. Josh Reynolds was not on the field. They decided, hey, one of our wide receivers went down. Instead of continuing to run 3 wide receiver sets, we're going to bring on a second tight end. We're going to play Tyler Higbee and we're going to play Gerald Everett at the same time. And Josh Reynolds just kind of stayed on the bench. I expect a very similar thing to happen this season. Josh Reynolds, in my opinion, has no upside. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Gerald Everett, and Tyler Higbee are all going to be commanding targets on this team. Daryl Henderson, in my opinion, is also a good pass-catching running back. But let me get to Daryl Henderson right now. And Daryl Henderson, after the Todd Gurley release, I was obviously very excited about him. I actually went out and traded for him in a Dynasty league. But sitting here now, I think with the addition of another second-round pick, the Los Angeles Rams are in prime running back landing spots. I think that in the second round, they have 2 picks there. If they see a J.K. Dobbins fall to them there, I could easily see them taking him. Or in the third round, they see a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a Cam Akers. Very possible landing spots for any of these rookie running backs. So if you can, I'm probably going to be trying to cash out for Daryl Henderson. In our most recent Dynasty startup drafts, he's actually going at the very beginning of the second round if you look at him compared to the rookie picks. So if you can go out and trade Daryl Henderson for a 202 in a Superflex league, maybe turn that pick into T. Higgins, I think that would be a fantastic move, especially because if you look at Daryl Henderson, what his value can do if we project it throughout the offseason. If the Rams go out there and they don't invest in another running back, what is Daryl Henderson's value going to rise up to? Is it going to be a late first-round pick? If so, if you believe in Daryl Henderson, go out and buy him for that. Sell him now for an early second. Draft T. Higgins. If 3 months from now the team hasn't invested in any other running backs, go trade T. Higgins in a third for Daryl Henderson. Are you really losing that much there? You're losing a third-round pick, but at the same time, hedging your bets that Daryl Henderson isn't completely dust after the Los Angeles Rams take a rookie running back. So I think that's pretty much all for the video. Sell Josh Reynolds. Sell Daryl Henderson. Go out and buy Robert Woods. I made a video about it a couple days ago. Robert Woods is one of the most productive veteran wide receivers that you can get at his price point. Still young and clearly going to be getting a lot of targets in this offense. On the Houston Texans side of it, go out, buy Randall Cobb. And in my opinion, Brandin Cooks is not a buy. Very sad to say. Y'all know I love him. Maybe Will Fuller becomes a buy with this. We'll see where he goes in our most recent startup draft that's going on right now. But thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.